Hey designer toy fans, are you looking for a new store to check out?
Yes, we are!
Have you ever been to Rotofugi in Chicago, Illinois?
No, we haven't!
Well, you might want to check it out. It's been there since July of 2004, and they have everything designer toys. Everything you can imagine that would be designer toys, including Kid Robot,
Pins,
Safubi,
plush,
Pop Vinyl,
and so much more.
Make sure to head over to rotofugi.com and check out their online store as well, where you can pick up things and have them delivered right to your door. But if you're in the Chicago area, make sure to stop in and say hi to the Rotofugi crew.
Hey everyone, welcome to the UVD Weekly Wrap-Up, the show where the team from UrbanVinylDaily.com goes over everything there is to know in the designer toy, art, street art, and Safubi world. I'm your host, Travis Likens.
And I'm Ben Pierce.
And we
Happy New Year!
are back. So this is episode 55 of our very consistently
inconsistent
podcast.
Spotty podcast.
So we are back for 2018. It's pretty crazy that 2018 is here. It seems like it was just 2017, like a week and a half ago.
Seems like it was just 2017. I see what you did there.
So, but no, 2017 was pretty crazy for UVD, Urban Vinyl Daily as a whole. We were very consistently inconsistent due to a lot of
Everything.
A lot of life going on. So both Ben and I moved in 2017, which if you guys have ever moved from one house to another house with a collection and just in general, like trying to get things the way you want it, it's not the easiest thing to do while also trying to run a weekly internet podcast thing.
One of us also got married.
I got married. Ben had a child.
I did.
So he is a dad.
Travis also went abroad with a broad. So
yeah, I went abroad, and I went to Hawaii, and I went to Japan, and I went to drove across the country a bunch of times. So it was a pretty crazy year from Urban Vinyl Daily standpoint in our personal lives. So we're striving for 2018 to be a year of more consistently keeping up with things going on in the designer toy world, but at the same time, also kind of, I don't know if you guys have paid attention to the recent batch of podcasting that we did do the past, couple months ago. We were back on a roll again. We're focusing on the news, but we're also kind of like doing a little more free-forming podcast, talking about subjects and things as well. It seems more entertaining to you guys than just bolting out the news. So we're kind of playing with the show format, I guess, in 2018 a little bit as well. So we're not saying the news is gone, but we're not also saying that it's going to be the 100% focus of the show anymore.
especially when we only meet once a week and it's literally news from the day for the next day or
2 days later.
2 days later or news that just kind of gets sloppily recapped.
Yep. So it ends up being one of those cases where you watch the the video or listen to the video, and then of course like a few days later, the video is no longer worth looking at. So you guys actually don't come in and check it out ever again, and that's not good for us, and it's not good for you. So we're going to try to do our best to come up with things that are a little more pertinent and a little more have a little bit life longevity things. So you might want to come back in 2 years and listen to what we were talking about or something. I don't know. That's kind of the plan. We haven't really fully fleshed it out, but we do know that 2018 is going to be much more consistent. I'm not going to say it's going to be totally weekly, but I am going to say that we're going to do it more often and more better.
And we can strive to be a little bit more interesting, I guess.
I guess we could try to do that too, so that you guys actually want to pay attention to what we are saying. But to kind of continue on with things about Urban Vinyl Daily, as you guys probably know, we ended the website last year in 2017. So Urban Vinyl Daily as a daily news source is no longer a thing. UVD Toys was a big growth last year. We did a Kickstarter. It was unfortunately a failure. And now we are working on another Kickstarter in 2018. So we started on January 3rd. It's called Luna and the Magical Nightlights. We're working with the bots again to bring their character Luna, kind of give their stagnant character a story and life that hopefully you will help identify with the character and help you kind of
share it with your kids.
Yeah, share it with your kids at the same time, because we're building a children's book based on it with illustrations from the artist 64 Colors. They've done a wonderful job of creating the cover and 2 pages from the story, illustrating the artwork done by illustrating the story done by Tony's talented sister. So she actually wrote the story with the bots. They kind of worked it all together, and then 64 Colors has been working on it. So we launched out on January 3rd. It is currently, what is today? The 9th? 10th of January. We are approximately 40% funded as of now. We're trying to reach a goal of $2,000 of $20,000, and we're currently around 8,000. So it's pretty great. We've been up for a little over a week now. To be 40% funded at that point is pretty crazy.
But a long way to go.
But yes, we still have a long ways to go. So it's not time to celebrate totally, but it's kind of like where you're really excited about something, but at the same time you're like nervous about it. That's where I'm at right now.
No coasting, no skipping leg day.
So if you're listening to this podcast, you want to head over to Luna. You want to head over to Kickstarter and type in the search bar Luna and the Magical Nightlights. You'll find the project. You can learn everything there is to know about it. We'll also put a link down in the show notes. But at that, you can see all the backer levels, which include pins, prints, a glow-in-the-dark version of Luna, bubbles in the resin form. So the resin version of the figure will be available hand-painted by the bots. There are custom tiers from many artists that have volunteered their time and effort to go ahead and make a custom version of Luna that you can purchase.
You can get pins.
You can get pins. There's also some original artwork from 64 Colors and the creme de la creme, or at least in our Kickstarter. There's a $5,000 tier that you can back that the bots will work with you to create your own custom 17-piece dunny series. So all designed, kind of I don't even know what to say, like a collaboration between you and them to create a dunny series that is, the bots work, but all hand done custom work. So you'll have something that is totally unique to anybody else. So
for each of those figures, is there like a scope to the figure so you just don't blow it out of proportion for 17 times?
Well, I mean, there's 17 different ones. So they do have some
like stipulations.
Stipulations. It's like, I think I don't want to say it on the air because I don't want to like lock you in and think that's what you're getting. But there are stipulations. It's like 17 figures, but only 14 designs, 3 colorway changes or something. They had like stipulations for it, but that's all on the Kickstarter. I don't have those memorized.
That way you're not getting like a dunny with like a 3-foot mountain below it as an accessory.
Well, if you take their approach that their dunny series, then they'd be back on you because they did some crazy things with accessories in their own dunny series, Scared Silly, which is available at your favorite kid robot retailer. But if you look at that series, there are accessories that I don't even know how they got them in the box. So, but
because we learned from the Kozik one with the snowman heads that one of them bust the box.
Yeah, the one with the melted the puddle of water underneath it. Yeah, so. But thanks for everybody that has backed the Kickstarter so far. We're hoping that you guys can either back it or help share it on your social media. Many people forget that sharing projects on social media
is caring,
but it's also a really great way to help get more eyes on the project, people that may want to back it. I mean, at this project, it is a $15 book. So if you just want to get the book, it'll cost you $15, which is a pretty low dollar amount to get in on something that hopefully will be a success, and you'll get something really cool in return that you can share with you, your family, your kids, or your family's kids, or your friends' kids, or you could just enjoy the artwork yourself, because the story is written in such a way also that it's not necessarily like it's an interesting story. It's not like just, oh, here's a dumb kid story, right? So
everybody poops.
So yes, exactly. So it's one of those things where you can enjoy it. You can enjoy looking at the artwork, but your kids will take the story and enjoy the story, and hopefully enjoy the artwork as well.
And it's less than $1 a page.
It is.
It's a 22-page one, and it's $15. So.
And it's a hardcover, so we're not even like jipping you with the little paper cover,
floppy soft cover.
The one that's like the book that's been in print for like 40 years, and they're like, here, it's only $3. It's like the cheapest like paper cover ever. So It's like you wanted a hardcover Dr. Seuss book, and they're like, here's a soft cover.
Bubble gum to bind it instead of the glue.
So, this is a great chance to get in on the ground floor. And it'll be a pretty low run of books as well. So it'll be something that, if the bots or the 64 colors or UVD Toys goes on to be like something way bigger, you'll have a really
First edition.
collectible item, first edition. And there's also, like we said earlier, higher tiers. And in those higher tiers, you'll get a signed edition of the book signed by the bots. So, it's just a cool chance to get in on something that's going to be a really cool project when it gets funded. Calling it.
Yeah. And you would think with a signature, you'd get like a little character doodle or something like
maybe
that.
a doodle. I don't know what their plans are for like doodlings, but
Something simple.
it'll be really cool to see what they do. So that kind of wraps up our plugging our own Kickstarter, though. So.
Hey Ben, have you ever been to Chicago?
Well, yes, I have, Travis.
Well, next time you're there, you should make sure to stop and check out this place called Gallery F.
Wow, I've never heard of them before. Where are they located?
They are found at 2415 North Milwaukee Avenue in Chicago, Illinois, and they feature some of the best artists that you can find around.
Really?
They have a major focus on local Chicago artists like J.C. Rivera, Elo, Penny Pinch, T. Monet, and many, many more. And they also bring in people from all over the country and world.
Wow, I'll really have to check them out. Hopefully there's a brewery down the street.
Yeah, you can get yourself a drink and then head over and check out all the posters and original screen prints that they do offer as well in the gallery.
Do they have a downstairs gallery?
Yes, they do. It's called The Underground. You can check out this and more by heading over to galleryf.com.
Other things from 2017. So, holidays, Ben.
Yes, there are many holidays, especially government holidays.
I was more referring to the period of time when we were gone. So,
wasn't that multiple times throughout the year?
I'm going to consider the holidays from Designer Con-ish
to the end of the year.
To the end of the year. So, as many of you know, especially if you keep up with us on the old Instagram there, I was traveling across the country from Ohio to California.
Not in an RV, though.
Not in an RV.
Would have been more picturesque.
So I was not Kyle and Sarah. It was just Jenny and I in a rental car. So we drove across the country, went to a lot of cool places. We saw Roswell, got to hang out at the Alien Museum.
Did they have any X-Files posters there?
So that was one thing about the Alien Museum that I thought needed a little upgrading. So this museum was originally somewhere else, and they moved it to where it is now, which is like an old theater, kind of like like an old small town theater where they would have had like a small movie screen and all that kind of stuff, with like the marquee out front. The whole like classic style. Where we're from, it's called the Murphy Theater in Wilmington, Ohio, but it's like that, but they turned it into a museum. So you get in there, and it's clearly like somebody started this thing and they're operating it themselves type museum. And once you get in, lots of photos, lots of news clippings, lots of crazy stuff talking about aliens and where they landed and what the story was and the real story versus what was told, and the whole 9 yards about Roswell and why Roswell is important. And then you kind of walk your way over to, it starts more getting into like normal, like extraterrestrial like kind of stuff. Like this is a sighting that was done in somewhere else, like another place, not necessarily Roswell. And here was like the government's response to it. So that's kind of like the first entry point.
All right.
And then they have like some dioramas, and they have like what look like movie props, maybe like an alien and like a glass tube or something, like just alien paraphernalia, I guess you would say. But they also have this giant, like, it's like a giant flying saucer, and apparently every so often it like lights up and like lights spin around it, and there's like, it's like the aliens are there abducting you, and they're like these like cartoony looking aliens standing around, and the lights go out in the room, and then they like make this noise, and it sounds like an alien like spaceship is landing and all this stuff.
I think it'll be a little bit more scary if the Sigourney Weaver aliens came out.
It would be, but these look kind of like the South Park aliens,
Yeah.
like except not cardboard or not that cartoony.
Slanty-eyed.
So once you get through that, there's like all kinds of little different exhibits, but then there's the final one you get to is like aliens' effect on pop culture, essentially. So it's like all these TV shows and all these movies that have had aliens in them, basically, or were about aliens or alien abductions or alien incidents, basically. And nothing in that like grouping, I swear, was before like 1992. Like, I mean, after 1992.
Oh.
So like this pop culture section neglects to have an X-Files poster. How are you the like alien museum? You don't have an X-Files poster.
What about When Mars Attacks?
That was not there. Mars Attacks, the Mars Attacks comic books or the movies.
The movie.
Was not there.
No Independence Day.
Nope. Independence Day was not there. Nothing. Like nothing was before like 1990 or after 1992.
So we're talking like old 50s, the day the Earth stood still sort of stuff where.
But nothing was that old either. Like it was a very specific time frame. I feel like it was like 1970s through like 1992. That's what I'm telling you.
So Sigourney Weaver, Alien.
No, there wasn't an alien poster either.
But
Like,
that fits your time frame.
Wait, come to mention it, there was not an alien. There was not I feel like there's a ton of movie posters that easily could have been there. And I swear none of them were there.
What about Body Snatchers?
I don't remember that one being there. So I think that is one area of the the Alien Museum that could definitely be upgraded and made better. I feel like they could have had like revenue coming in by having like personal appearances from people that have been in these movies. There's got to be people on the comic book circuit, like the Comic-Con circuit, the celebrities that sign there, that would come there and sign. There has to be. Like if you pay them enough money.
Except that's a losing proposition though, because coming to Roswell or Albuquerque, it's just like there's like 3 people that trickle through.
It's true. But other than that, Roswell is pretty much just a small little town. Went to a nice little brewery that is there that they brew like beers that are all alien themed. So they had like a cool little alien pint glass and stuff like that.
Was there one called like Proby in the Ass or something?
No, I don't remember
Ass
any of the
Prober.
names. I don't remember any of the names of them. They just had like alien names. And their like logo on their pint glass was like a big alien head.
We're here for Uranus.
So that was cool. And then if you're ever in Roswell, of course you have to stop at the McDonald's that is in Roswell, because the play place is actually shaped like a UFO. So like the building that it's in is shaped like a UFO, and then you go inside of it and it's very UFO-y themed on the inside of that. So if you're ever in Roswell, go check that out. They also have a cool, like for their drive-through signal on the ground, it's like an alien like pointing towards the towards the drive-through. So it's definitely something to see, especially if you're kind of like a side of the road attraction kind of person. There's like some funny stuff to check out. It's not that far out of the way if you're going that way. On this adventure, continuing on this adventure across the country, though, we did travel to Stranger Factory in Albuquerque, and we did check that out. Ben had been there prior, so he knows a little bit about it too. It's a very cool little store. Obviously, most of the focus is on like the circus posters, Brent Peters, Kathy Olivas type work, because obviously they make that stuff and they own the store. But they also have a wide variety of designer toys available for purchase, across the spectrum of designer toys. But they have a ton of original artwork in the back as well. They host gallery shows from time to time, so they have a lot of awesome stuff that you can check out. It's kind of on a pretty cool little street. Looks like there's a lot of food and stores and like bars and breweries and things like that to check out on that street as well. So, while you're there, if you're heading to Roswell or driving across the country and happen to be going through Albuquerque or flying there, it's worth stopping in and checking out, saying hi, maybe picking up something, showing your support.
While in New Mexico, did you get Christmas chilies?
Christmas chilies.
The red and green. It's pretty much whatever you order, you get red chilies, green chilies, or you can get Christmas, which is both.
I did not see that. I was not there for very long. And I think I only ate like 1.5 times.
Your native tour guide failed you then.
She's not from there. So the other thing we did while we were in Albuquerque is we actually stayed at an Airbnb that was a camper. So it was a very interesting stay. Mostly because when you're plotting a journey across the country from Ohio to California,
by way of Kansas,
you normally think of everything west of Ohio. It's got to be warmer, right? Like it doesn't get any colder. So Albuquerque,
Except that's high desert, so it does get cold.
yeah. So
It was snowing there when I was there last time.
so it was freezing in Albuquerque, and we were initially supposed to be staying in a tent,
Oh, God.
which I did not know that I signed up for, to be honest. And so we got there, and the lady was like, the camper's open. Since it's so cold, you might want to stay in there. And I was like, yeah, I want to stay in there. And Jenny's like, no, we'll stay in the tent. I'm like, we ain't
So
staying in
in
the
this
tent.
scenario, were you Airbnb-ing sleeping bags as well, or just the tent?
I think the sleeping bags were included. I think it had like a mattress, actually. It was called glamping. So
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, so we ended up in this camper. It was like a mid-70s, like little trailer. Probably is great if it's not 40 degrees outside. So, but we did have a space heater, and it kept us warm for the like $30 that it was to stay there. I mean, I can be cold.
Yeah.
And
there are worse things.
We had plenty of blankets, and we had a space heater, so it was nice. It was great because there was a shower. You just go in the house. There was like a house there that was like the communal place, which were also Airbnb like rooms. So everybody there pretty much is Airbnb, and you had a shower you go use. It was great. So a big fan of Airbnb. That was a development in 2017 as well.
It was.
I became a big fan of Airbnb. So if you're Airbnb, if you're scared of trying it, don't be. Just look at the reviews. If they have good reviews, more than likely you're going to be okay. And the story will continue with more Airbnb along the way, because I have another one to prop on the end of this. So then
Are we circling back to the Chicago one? Or
Nope.
Okay.
So then we continued on our way. We went all the way out we drove from Albuquerque to Los Angeles in one day. So it was like 12 hours of driving, like pretty much straight. And so we left there, and we got a message from our friend Gary over the Toy Chronicle that they were going to be having their annual get together at Dog Hoss, which is a hot dog place in Pasadena that serves like gourmet style hot dogs with like all kinds of stuff on top of them and all that kind of stuff. And we got there, and then we had dinner with them, and a bunch of other people from Toy Chronicle, and other artists were there as well. Don Data Dub from Japan was there. Had a good old time, and then we made our way to where we were staying. And then we went to DesignerCon 2017. So DesignerCon was great. Ben doesn't have a lot of comments. He wasn't there.
I know.
But it was really good. We had a small table over in Hall C. Hall C,
Not to be confused with Halsey.
Yes, Hall Z. So Hall C, it was not a bad place to be. Like, a lot of people like to give it crap. Oh, we don't get a lot of traffic. Hall C and DesignerCon as a whole was the busiest it's ever been.
Hence why they're moving.
Like, you could not walk down aisles, like full aisles. There was a line on Saturday and Sunday until 1 hour before they closed of people trying to get in.
Dang.
1 hour before they closed, people are still trying to get in this thing.
It's ridiculous.
Like, it was insane. Like, I have never seen anything like it.
It seems like a steep ramp up from last year and the previous year.
There was periods of times where people were trying to walk down the aisle that we were in, and there were so many people in the aisle that they were like bumping into tables. Like,
Yeah, that's a big risk.
yeah, I mean, it was so busy. Like, it was crazy. And like, people were doing, like, from what I understand, pretty good business along the way. If you had something that people wanted to buy, people were buying it. So it wasn't like, yeah, you had cool stuff and people were just ignoring it. Like, if you came there with your game, you were going to sell something.
Doesn't everyone think their stuff's cool though, and then they get disappointed?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is like, because like us, we went there, we didn't have a ton of new stuff, so I wasn't expecting us to like pull down like major, like have tons of sales or anything. It was more like, hey, let's get our product out there, let people see it, let people in the marketplace get feedback, showcase new products that we're working on, that kind of a booth, right? And I feel like we did pretty well, considering we didn't have anything that was like, oh, you can only get this at DesignerCon. This is the first time ever. I guess we did
could have built it that way, but
we did have pins that were like first time ever. But I mean, that's not something that is like, oh my God, I have to have this pin immediately. Versus this toy that's going to sell out. Like, so I was pretty happy with how DesignerCon went. As Ben alluded to, they did announce that they're moving to from Pasadena to Anaheim.
Anaheim.
So they're going to be right next to Disney, right by downtown Disney and all that area.
That's a rough commute.
Yes. So a lot of people are complaining from the California standpoint. If they're Los Angeles local, they now have to travel further every time they want to go to DesignerCon.
I mean, even with your fighting Disney crowd though, and that's a big crowd too.
So yes, some people have been complaining about that, but guess what? You're at Disney, so you can also go to Disney. So that's another plus.
And spend $300 a ticket.
They're actually working on getting a discount for DesignerCon goers.
Oh.
Or vendors, like, so if you have a vendor's badge, you get a discount type thing. So they're working on getting it to a point where it is more affordable. But there's plenty of parking, so that was a big issue this year at DesignerCon, from what I've been told, was that there was not enough parking to, basically at the multiple parking locations that are right around DesignerCon. They were all full. So people couldn't find parking. Like it was crazy, Ben. I'm telling you, like we've been going there since 2011, 2010, 11.
Because we started in 10.
Yeah, so 11. We've been going since 2011, and it is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like legitimately nuts. The whole thing was unbelievable. Like everybody there just could not believe how many people were at this convention. So on Friday night, Friday is setup day for those that do not know. Jenny comes over and she's like, "Did you see what they're doing?" And I was like, "What? Who's doing? Does somebody have something cool at their table?" She's like, "No, on this pamphlet." And I was like, "What pamphlet?" She'd actually like looked at the thing they gave us in the bag, right? And she goes, "Look at the back." I was like, "What?" And she goes, "It says 3 days." I was like, 3 days? And then I looked down at the bottom. I was like, and it says Anaheim. I'm like, wait, what's going on? So they have clarified that the 3 days, it's not actually full 3 days. Friday is going to be a preview. There will be a certain number of hours that it is open, only to probably VIP or like special pass holders or something like that. So we won't have to like set up on Thursday type thing. We'll still be able to set up
Friday morning.
And as long as you don't have like some crazy booth that needs set up. And they've also clarified kind of part of the reason for the move. I guess the Pasadena Convention Center actually rented out the Hall C out from under them.
Oh.
So they weren't going to be able to have it. And so the team at DesignerCon made the wise decision that, we've expanded to Hall C. We can't go back for a year.
You can, but
they already had like 500 people on the waiting list to get a booth. So that would have put another like 300, 400 people on a waiting list. So they had to move on. And from what I understand, this is actually one of the newer sections of the Anaheim Convention Center. So it's going to be like brand new. We're all going to be in one room. So everybody can stop I'm in Hall C. This sucks. I'm in the ballroom. It's not bright enough. I'm in the big room. Nobody pays attention to me because there's so much to look at. Like everybody will have the same complaint. It's a new convention center. So as long as the team keeps up their advertising, I don't see a problem going with the preview night, and I don't see a problem with moving to a bigger venue.
Does that raise the booth rent?
According to the episode of Marsham Toy Hour where Ben from DesignerCon was on there after last year, after DesignerCon is like in early December, I think, if you want to go back and check it out. He said that he does not expect a major increase to booth costs. He said it should be comparable to normal inflationary type increases. So, I mean, the booths are 500, were like 500-ish last year. So maybe 550 or 6.
Back in our day, we remember what the cost of the booth was.
It was like 400 back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was only one day. No, that was when it was 2 days. It was like 300, I think, when it was a day or something. But anyway, so that's old times past. But I mean, that's not that big of an increase from 2011 to 2018.
Especially when you have that many eyes on your booth.
Yeah. When used to, they were getting, I mean, I'm telling you, half of the people used to come through there. This was like double the size. It was probably half the size last year. Like, I don't know those numbers exactly, but it was insane. Although if you remember last year on Saturday, it rained. Like in 2016, it rained on Saturday, which I think dampened the crowd a little bit. So, but yeah, I mean, DesignerCon 2018, I'm excited for it. Planning on having a table. As long as we can get one before the waiting list takes place. So we're excited to share in this move. And also, I guess too, another cool thing is that like with this move, not only will it open up things as far as being able to have probably more tables, they'll be able to give people that deserve multiple booth space. So there's like brands like Toy Cube that would probably like to have more than like a 10 by 10, maybe a 10 by 20 or something like that. And they can't have a booth like that because there's just not enough booths to even go around. So they had to get really selective with giving people multiple booths. So like I would say in 2017, like in 2014 when UVD Toys had 2 booths, that wouldn't happen now.
Or even Toy Art Gallery that had 4.
Yeah, like that would not happen in our current state. But in the future, at the new convention center, they'll be able to do that. It also will bring the panels that they have. So the past 2 years, they've had panels at DesignerCon, if you didn't know.
Offsite.
They're like off-site and it's somewhere else, and most people didn't even know where they were going on unless you really read the book or followed the arrows that they had set up. So now those panels will all be in the same area more than likely. So I think it's going to be really good for the convention and keeping it more tight-knit. And I actually think it'll help, even though it's a bigger space. DesignerCon was starting to not feel as small anymore because you went from multiple rooms to multiple rooms and you had to go, off-site to go to this convention thing and the after party somewhere else. And like, it's all spread out, right? I think putting it all back under one space is going to make it feel more like cohesive and more like together, and create that kind of the thing that we loved about DesignerCon was that it felt very unique and it felt very united, like with everybody working together to make the convention the convention. So that a lot of people are saying Pasadena is DesignerCon. It is, but DesignerCon is also the spirit and the people that make the con. So as long as those people that are in the con don't change, like as long as like, Hot Wheels doesn't show up like with a booth, I don't think it's not going to feel that different. It's just going to be in a different place. So it'll still feel the same.
I wouldn't mind if NECA showed up though.
Yeah, if NECA shows up, that would be pretty sweet. There's a few places like that. I'd like to see NECA, Metacom. There's a lot of places like that are like bigger toy brands that they not only make like cool toys, they also make some pop culture stuff that some people are like boo-hoo. But NECA toys are legitimately like designer toy action figures. Like there's a reason why their action figures are like $25, $35 for a 7-inch action figure, because there's so much like detail. Or like brands like Hot Toys, like those kind of brands, if they could get them to come, like that would be so cool to see it grow but still have the same feeling, So that was a DesignerCon. Headed off from there to Tokyo, Japan, and spent 7 days ish there. Airbnb in Tokyo, awesome. $400 for the week, apartment to ourselves. Hotels average around, if it's like a decent like American style hotel, it's like $300 a night. So we saved a lot of money Airbnb-ing. Again, check out Airbnb, find the good reviews. It's well worth the risk of maybe getting stabbed. So while we were there, we did check out a bunch of toy spots. We went to Broadway, which is like a ginormous multi-story mall that is basically dedicated to toys, games. Interestingly enough, a like sex shop. There's like a place where you can buy like used panties that are like, and they sell them to you.
Oh, one of those.
And they sell them in like a bag, and the bag has like a picture of the chick that wore them. Like it's
this is going in a different direction.
Yeah, this is really weird. But they also have tons of toys there, including like a lot of soft vinyl and a lot of interesting enough like American soft vinyl that is being sold there at like ridiculously high like prices. Like it was insane, like how much stuff was just like marked way up there. But that's kind of the game, when especially if it's like highly sought after. So, but we also checked out Metacom, their store while we were there. Metacom has basically, it kind of had like a Kid Robot. Like if you'd ever been to the old Kid Robot stores, kind of had like a similar feel. It's very sterile with like lots of toys, like all set up on like light boxes and stuff. Very cool to see kind of in person, seeing multi like foot tall bear bricks. That was pretty cool. And they have multiple Metacom stores like throughout the city. So we went to another one that had a different setup. It was like in more of a standard mall setup. and but they had tons of bear bricks. And the crazy thing with being in Japan and like in the designer toy like aspect of it is seeing the fact that kind of here, like, you kind of have to go out of your way to find a bear brick, right? Like, where are you going to buy a bear brick, Ben?
Online.
Like, literally, bear bricks are everywhere. Like, you go in a store and they'd have their own store bear brick. Like, it was just like a store at the mall, they have a bear brick. A store in this little shopping center has a bear brick. Like, everybody had a bear brick. It's crazy how many bear bricks there were. And then like stores would just have them like a little like shop. They just have a whole bunch of bear bricks like available. So it was pretty crazy seeing the prevalence of the bear brick. Obviously it is from Japan, but it struck me as like I would have to like literally go out of my way to find a bear brick. And literally there I was just stumbling over bear bricks. And then of course the gacha machines. That's always an awesome thing to check out. You put in your money and you get your little toy. I personally bought a bunch of the Vinyl Artist Gacha series produced by Metacom. They were not as easy to find as I thought they would be. Like, I kind of had to go out of my way. There'd be like, we'd see like 200 machines. I'd be like, oh yeah, they're going to have them. Nope.
Yeah, there's just a random bullshit.
Yep. Nope.
It's kind of like how it was when I was at the Narita airport. It was just a bunch of those machines and a couple of them were only good.
Yep. So like Jenny enjoyed her. She got a Pikachu that is in a Pokeball that looks like a teacup. So Jenny was a big fan of the Pikachu in the teacup. I wanted the Cubone that was in the teacup. I did not purchase one, but I thought that thing was pretty cute. So that kind of wrapped up the DesignerCon / travel across the country aspect of it. But while that was going on,
did you try Pocari Sweat like I said you should?
Pocari Sweat.
It's a drink.
I did not.
So it's pretty much like a squirt grapefruit drink that sounds disgusting, but it is delicious.
So there's vending machines everywhere in Japan. But we found...
Otherwise, there's Aquarius, which is like, it's pretty much like the Gatorade.
I was going to say we had a lot of Aquarius.
Okay.
It's like a water Gatorade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was like available everywhere. And the other thing, like the other big thing that we did while we were there that is toy notable is we went to Tokyo Disney. And it was pretty cool to see like just like how different everything is there as far as like what characters are popular. Like they seem to be obsessed with Toy Story. Like, and like Winnie the Pooh and a couple of other like Disney properties that over here just aren't necessarily the one you like think about when you think of Disney. So it was cool to see like the different aspects of it. And I highly recommend if you go to Japan and you have some free time, check it out. It's relatively cheap as far as Disney is concerned. I think when the conversion rate, it was like a $50 ticket, maybe 55. And the food is not like overly priced unless you go to like an expensive, like they have like the restaurants and stuff, but you can eat fairly cheaply throughout the place and everywhere too. So I got a BB-8 popcorn holder. So like they sell popcorn throughout the place that's like all kinds of different flavors. Like they have like soy sauce popcorn and barbecue flavored popcorn and caramel corn and like all kinds of just different random ones. So you want to try like a bunch of them. I don't recommend the soy sauce one. I didn't dig that one.
Did you do many of the Kit Kat ones?
I did get a bunch of the Kit Kats. I didn't want to buy like full boxes of them though. So some of the flavors I swear were only available in like full boxes, like the creme brulee and like stuff. I only saw them in like ginormous. Like I didn't want to like 10-pack.
Yeah, I found mine in like the double packs, like 4 packs in a box.
Yeah, I only got.
So I got some small boxes.
So I got like fun size ones. Like I found like bags of fun size ones, but they didn't have like all the flavors. So I got a limited supply, mostly the like green tea and the strawberry. Like those were the two main ones I could find.
Yeah, I got the dark chocolate as well and the cantaloupe.
Yeah, I wanted the like it looked like creme brulee, but I couldn't read it, so I was assuming it was creme brulee. But yes, I did not partake in all those different Kit Kats. I just tried a sampling.
Hey everyone, this is Travis Likens from the UVD Weekly Wrap-Up, and we're here today to tell you about a store.
We've got strange cat toys, they've got toys for you, and some beard supplies, so check them out.
StrangeCatToys.com, where you'll receive 10% off if you use the code UVD at checkout.
So while I was gone, Ben is now a father. So that was pretty cool. His son is now, how old is he now?
He's going to be 9 weeks on Thursday.
9 weeks. We're not even to the point we're measuring in months yet, so it's still relatively new.
I'm trying to convince Jill to do in days, but she's not quite biting onto that yet. So
That's a lot. That's a lot to mention in days. So, but that kind of caught up the end of 2017, I guess, right? Like nothing else really happened. The holidays. I got a Nintendo Switch. You add me on Switch if you want. I don't know what my number is off the top of my head, but
I got one of those micro kegs.
yes, I saw on Instagram that you got a mini, like, what is it? Like a mini.
It's a little pressurized growler.
Yeah, so you can put your beer in there and it doesn't go bad so frequently. Because like that's always the annoying thing about if you go to a craft beer place, you're like, oh, I want to get this beer and I want to take it home with me, and you're like, I don't really want to drink like.
As one person, you pretty much have to chug it. So.
Like I don't want to drink it in a day after I open it, or actually not even after you open it. It's like after you buy it, right?
It's once you open it, once the air gets into it, you have a couple days.
So I usually don't partake in the growlering. I just drink more beer while I'm there and dream about it.
That's kind of why I've latched onto the howler, which is a half growler.
Yeah.
So that's more manageable for a single person.
I don't know. I just go to a different bar or I buy in cans. Like there's rarely like a beer at any of the craft beer places that I go to that I'm like, man, I got to have this tomorrow too. Like, that's not like, I just go back.
For some of the places, I guess I live farther away than you do from some of these places.
Yeah,
so.
I guess that's the thing. I
So,
live like 5 seconds from every one of them.
Which there's places in Springboro, like there's Crooked Handle that I could easily just wander to. But like when I came to Warped Wing when they had the s'mores one, that's obviously not going to be canned.
See, I did miss that. That would have been nice. Yeah, I think it's gone now. I don't think they. Still
it's long gone. I think.
But they so like I live actually in like the downtown urban area now, so it's just like right around the corner from me. But they're actually building a brewery that is literally like if I go out to the corner of my street and walk like 4 blocks, there it is.
Whoop! There it is.
So like I'm very interested to see if that's going to be a good brewery or not. Because then I don't have to go very far to drink my beer. And if you watched many of our episodes of the UVD Weekly Wrap-Up, you will know we are both fans of beer. So we are very concerned with what is going on in the Dayton, Ohio beer scene.
Minus the point where you went on a beer fast.
I did lose some LBs, but I probably gained them back by now. So that kind of wraps up the end of 2017 as far as what we were doing. And like we said, 2018 is going to be the year where we become more consistent at bringing you weekly podcasts. We hope that you actually enjoy hearing us. If you have any kind of like thoughts or direction, like stuff you'd like to hear, if there's any bits or things that we used to do that we don't do anymore that you're actually interested in hearing, you can always send those over to urbanvinyldaily@gmail.com or hit us up on the old Instagram. Just slide in our DMs. We'll respond to you there.
Or if people want to advertise on us, there was a brief period of time where we did commercials for people.
We still do commercials for people.
But now we can do new commercials.
You can add another commercial into the podcast if you would like. So if you want to be one of those, just hit us up on urbanvinyldaily@gmail.com or again, slide in our DMs at urbanvinyldaily over on Instagram. We appreciate, all you guys actually paying attention to us. A big thing that I think gets lost a lot of times in the social media aspect is how important sharing is. So if you like what we're doing or you want to expose what we're doing to other people, you can always do that by sharing this on your Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. It really goes a long way of helping us build our fan base and building our reach and getting designer toys out to people. Obviously, we have not done ourselves a favor by being so inconsistent in 2017. But like I said, we're doing our best to right the ship and get things back on track for you guys. So we will be a good source of entertaining podcasting for you in the future. The one last thing before we go, 2017, we used to do videos and eventually we are going to do those again. It's just, we still are setting up our studio space. I actually have a custom desk that's being built that is still being built. And until that gets built, we can't really set up in our office space. We are still crouched over our couch on our coffee table with the computer set up on the coffee table, and basically my office is in the living room. So when people come over, I have to take the office down.
Very inconvenient.
It's very inconvenient. So eventually, once we get that office going, we will start the videos again. In case any of you were wondering, we both still have our beards, and we're still using our beard oils. So
Thank you, Strange Cat Toys.
So we are keeping the beard oil live from StrangeCatToys.com, sponsor of the show, and beard oil aficionado that has a new beard oil coming out by the one and only Spanky Stokes. So look for that at Strange Cat Toys on Instagram for the release information.
So I wonder what Spanky's is going to smell like, because Spanky's all over the place.
Burly Man.
It's going to be like chainsaw oil and wood dust.
that would be good if it was like chainsaw oil scent. I'm not sure what the scent is, but I'm sure based on, it was a quality beard oil. Like I've used other beard oils, and it's a quality beard oil. So if you're looking to support a small designer toy company and also have a beard and like oiling your beard, then he's a good place to stop and check out. So, but unless you have something else, Ben, I think this might be the end of the episode.
I think we've wandered on long enough.
We've gone pretty long. I think we gave you a good update of why we suck at 2017 and what happened in the period of time that we were gone. So if you're interested in learning more about us, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. All that stuff will be coming up here shortly in this video, so you'll be able to follow us and share us and all that good stuff. So as always, I'm Travis.
And I'm Ben.
Have a great designer toy day. Thanks for checking out our video right here on youtube.com/urbanvinyldaily. While you're here, make sure to give us a subscribe and a like. And if you're so gracious, you can share this video on your favorite social network. You can always give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at Urban Vinyl Daily, or find us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/urbanvinyldaily, and you'll be able to keep up with our latest posts and information going on in the world of UVD. If you want to help us out in more of a monetary way, you can always head over to our store, urbanvinyldaily.storeenvy.com, and check out all the awesome things we have available from great artists from all over the world. Or you can head over to our PayPal and just straight up donate to us to help us keep the lights on and keep things going by going to paypal.com and sending money over to urbanvinyldaily@gmail.com, and that will help us out in more ways than you know. If you want to keep up with everything going on in the world of UVD, make sure to head over to urbanvinyldaily.com. Or if you're interested in sponsorship information, a comment, or a question, make sure to head over to urbanvinyldaily@gmail.com and send us a message. And if it's good enough, we'll answer it right here on the UVD Weekly Wrap-Up. As always, this has been an Urban Vinyl Daily production.